Many people talk about positive thinking as if it were just a nice idea, but the truth is that it's a practical tool, almost like shelter in a storm. To understand this, just observe a common situation. When the cold arrives, no one argues with it. People bundle up, look for a blanket, and drink something warm. In other words, we don't fight the cold. We find a way out, a way to protect ourselves. Now, think about how we deal with our own thoughts. When our minds are invaded by negative ideas, most of us allow ourselves to be dragged down by them or begin an internal battle that only adds to the burden. Few realize there's a choice to replace what weakens us with something that strengthens us. Just as we put on a coat in winter, we can also dress our minds with clearer, lighter, more positive thoughts. This is the essence of what the Stoics discovered centuries ago. They didn't try to eliminate what they couldn't control, wars, disease, loss, or injustice. Instead, they focused on what was always within reach, the way we think, the way we interpret, the attitude we choose. For them, training the mind was the same as taking control of our own lives. And this training wasn't something abstract. It was a daily practice, done silently, in situations large and small. That's exactly what this video was created for, to show you how to apply this principle in your daily life. Here we'll explore 7 Stoic lessons that serve as mental exercises. Each one is an invitation to transform the way you see the world and, most importantly, how you manage your own thoughts. Because in the end, your mind can be your greatest enemy or your greatest ally. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's already shared their experiences in the comments. Each story is living proof that knowledge isn't just for accumulating ideas, but for creating real change. And if you're just joining us, welcome to this journey. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this content. The more people awaken to this inner strength, the stronger the community we're building will be. Now let's dive into these lessons together. 1. The power to exchange bad thoughts for better ones. When a negative thought appears, it may seem small, but it has the power to profoundly affect our emotions and even our attitudes. The good news is that we have the ability to change these thoughts and use them to our advantage. But this change doesn't happen automatically. Like any new skill, this shift requires practice and attention. Imagine you're starting a project at work, and out of nowhere, the thought pops into your head, "I'll never be able to do it. This is too complicated." These racing thoughts can overwhelm you, undermine your confidence, and hinder your actions. At that moment, you need to stop and act. The secret is to replace the negative phrase with a positive and true idea. Instead of, "I can't do it," try thinking, "I don't know everything yet, but I'm ready to learn." This shift reduces the internal burden and opens new doors. To make it easier to understand, here are some practical examples of this exchange. "If I always get this wrong" comes to mind. Replace it with, "Every mistake is a chance to learn something new." If "I'm not good enough" comes up, change it to, "I'm improving and can get better every day." When you practice this, you begin to take control. Instead of being dominated by negative thoughts, you become the author of your own journey. Challenges begin to be seen as opportunities, and instead of only seeing problems, you begin to seek solutions. But it's important to always be vigilant. You need to monitor what's going through your mind and ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hindering me? If you believe nothing will work, your mind will look for proof. But if you think, "I'll find a way out," your mind will look for solutions. This practice is essential to changing your mindset. Tony Robbins has a powerful quote, "Where focus goes, energy goes." The way you direct your thoughts shapes your reality. Replacing negative ideas with positive ones changes not only what you think, but also how you feel and act. This creates a positive cycle. Better thoughts generate balanced emotions, which lead to actions aligned with what you want to achieve. As Socrates said, "The secret of transformation is to use all your energy not to fight the old, but to create the new." When you train your mind to see opportunities, you open space for a lighter, fuller life full of new possibilities. And before I continue, I need to tell you something. This video reached you because someone liked, and subscribe to the channel. Do the same to keep this chain alive, and together we can build a community that seeks to always grow. 2. How to create more positive ways of thinking. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great figures of Stoicism, said, "The thoughts you cultivate determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the tone of the ideas you entertain." In other words, what we think directly influences how we see life. If our thoughts are negative, they distort reality, but if they're positive, they transform our minds into forces for change. This idea is also the basis of cognitive behavioral therapy, which shows how our ideas directly affect our emotions and attitudes. Think of your thoughts as glasses. If the lenses are scratched or dirty, everything seems blurry, but if you clean them, your vision becomes clear. Likewise, negative ideas cloud our perception, creating fears and insecurities. As Seneca said, "We suffer more in our imagination than in real life." The good news is that it's possible to change your mindset. Just as you've learned to view the world negatively, you can also train your mind to see it with more optimism. You have the power to change these lenses. When you change your thoughts, you begin to see life in a brighter, more hopeful light. A study published in the journal Nature Human Behavior shows that replacing bad ideas with good ones can alter brain function, strengthening areas linked to well-being. This proves that we can reprogram our minds through new thinking habits. Bruce Lipton, in the book The Biology of Belief, reinforces this view. Our beliefs control our biology. If you replace negative beliefs with positive ones, you can completely transform your life. Just as muscles become stronger with exercise, the mind also becomes stronger with practice. The more you replace bad ideas with good ones, the faster your mind learns to focus on what it builds, and this generates great results. Conclusion: all change begins within the mind. Adam Smith warned, "The great source of misery is a mistaken belief about what matters." If your thoughts are positive and focused on what truly matters, your life will begin to reflect this change. Therefore, choose carefully the color you give to your soul. Train your mind to think positively and see how little by little your reality transforms. 3. Discover your ways of thinking that are dragging you down. To change the way you think, the first step is to notice the negative thoughts that constantly swirl around in your head. Imagine your mind as a flower bed. If you don't tend to it, negative thoughts, like weeds, will grow out of control and eventually smother the flowers. Before trying to fix your life, you need to understand what's holding you back. These negative thoughts appear on their own, almost as a reflex. This happens because our brains are shaped by the experiences we've experienced, the ideas we truly believe, and the influences of the people and environment around us. It's like driving without looking at the road. You're on autopilot. But, just like driving a car, you can choose to slow down, observe what's going on, and if necessary, change course. That's the power of being mindful. As Norman Peale said, "Change your thoughts, and you change your world." Consider whether phrases like, "I'll never figure it out," "It's too complicated," or "If I try and fail, they'll laugh at me," have ever crossed your mind. Even if they creep in silently, these thoughts influence the way you see everything. They sap your strength and make you shy away from opportunities and new challenges. Research from Stanford University showed that those who can recognize and challenge these negative thoughts are more likely to get up after falling and achieve what they want. This shows that this isn't just motivational talk, but something that science backs up. The first step to breaking this cycle is to recognize your thought patterns. A practical idea is to write down on paper or on your phone the negative phrases you tend to repeat to yourself. When you write them down, these thoughts become clearer and easier to face. This simple gesture can break the automatic process that keeps these ideas hidden. Paying attention to how your thoughts surface in different areas of your life, at work, in friendships, in important choices, is akin to checking the weather before sailing. Certain situations can trigger these negative thoughts, like a beacon that always leads you back to fear or disappointment. Former President Roosevelt said, "The only limit to what we can accomplish tomorrow is the doubts we have today." Noticing these patterns in your mind is the first step to letting go of the ideas that keep you stuck. 4. The effect of thoughts on the body. How the mind affects the physical. Have you ever stopped to notice how the thoughts that run through your head directly affect your body? Imagine you're going to an important meeting and suddenly start worrying about everything that could go wrong. Within minutes, your heart races, your shoulders stiffen, and your hands sweat. These signals reflect what's going on in your mind. When we feel fear or anxiety, our bodies react as if we're facing real danger, even when it's just in our heads. Now think about how your body reacts when you're excited or full of hope. It relaxes, your breathing becomes lighter, and you feel more energetic. This shows that what we think doesn't just change our mood, but also how our bodies function. When negative thoughts take over, they increase tension in the body, and this tension weighs down the mind even more. But it also works the other way around. When you put positive thoughts in your mind, the body releases the pressure, creating a cycle of well-being. Norman Peale wrote in The Power of Positive Thinking, "A heart full of hope is the best medicine for the body." In other words, what we think has a direct connection to our physical health and also to our emotions. The first step to breaking this cycle is learning to notice the signals your body sends. Think of your body as a thermometer for your emotions. When you're nervous or irritated, the signs appear quickly: a pounding heart, shallow breathing, stiff muscles. This is your body signaling that your mind is on alert. When you're calm and at peace, your body also shows signs: deeper breathing, looser muscles, and a feeling of lightness. Understanding this connection between mind and body is essential for self-care. Now that you understand how thoughts affect the body, you can take action. When you notice a bad idea taking hold, pause, breathe slowly, and try to change your mindset. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Harvard research has shown that transforming negative thoughts can significantly reduce cortisol, the stress hormone. Economist John Maynard Keynes said, "The greatest challenge is not to accept new ideas, but to leave behind old ones." Likewise, replacing old negative thoughts with more positive ones requires effort, but it paves the way for a healthier mind. In short, what you think directly affects your body. If you pay attention to the signals your body sends, you'll better understand what's going on inside your mind. With practice, you can change these thought patterns, which not only reduces stress, but also creates a cycle of balance between mind and body. Start paying more attention to the thoughts you entertain. This could be the first step toward transforming both your mind and body. 5. Use the most powerful of tools. In the Bible, from Moses to Elisha, and also in the New Testament with Matthew and Luke, the same lesson is repeated. You cannot serve two masters. This means that it is not possible to live divided between two paths, nor to have thoughts and attitudes that contradict each other. If you want something more practical, consider Newton's law. No two bodies occupy the same space at the same time. This comparison shows us a simple truth. You can't complain and be grateful at the same time. If you're stuck in grumbling and complaining, there's no room for gratitude to flourish. Often we don't even realize how automatic complaining has become. Imagine each complaint as a stone placed inside a backpack. At first it seems light, but the more stones you add, the heavier it becomes until you become completely exhausted. By complaining endlessly, you distance yourself from positive thoughts and lose the chance to feel peace. When we complain, we enter a cycle of negativity. For example, if you say, "This traffic has ruined my day," you turn something ordinary into a major problem. It's like a drop falling on a stone, slowly wearing us down. Constantly complaining ends up eroding your outlook on life and increasing frustration. Those who complain always lose the joy of living. Stoic philosophers teach us that when we waste energy on things we can't change, we miss the opportunity to react positively. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over external events." Complaining is like giving away that power, fueling feelings of helplessness. But accepting situations as they are gives us back the strength to choose how to react. When we understand what is truly within our control, we can act in healthier ways. Gratitude acts like a light that dispels the shadows of complaining. Focusing on the good, even in difficult times, shifts our perspective from what is missing to what is already present. Take the traffic example again. Instead of complaining, think, "I'm safe, I have a car, and I can use this time to listen to music or learn something new." This simple adjustment in how you look at things can change your mood. Martin Seligman, founder of positive psychology, explains that this practice helps reprogram the brain to see life more optimistically. Cultivating gratitude, even in small things, brings profound benefits. Research shows that giving thanks activates areas of the brain linked to joy. People who practice gratitude have higher levels of serotonin, which combats sadness and anxiety. Saying thank you for your morning coffee, a friendly conversation, or a helpful gesture trains your mind to focus on the positive. James Allen, in the book How Man Thinks, wrote, "The thoughts that dominate your mind define the quality of your life." And Epictetus reminds us that great changes begin with small steps. Try living a single day without complaining and notice the difference. When we break the habit of complaining, we come closer to Stoic principles and find peace and gratitude in our daily lives. Now I ask you, what complaint did you have today that could be exchanged for gratitude? Write it in the comments and start practicing this change in your mind. 6. Break the beliefs that hold you back. Breaking limiting beliefs is like throwing open the windows of a house that's been closed for years. Think of your mind as that house, and see limiting beliefs as heavy curtains that block out light and fresh air. If you never pull back these curtains, you end up living in darkness, blind to all that's out there. Each time you challenge one of these beliefs, it's like opening a curtain and letting in new possibilities. These limiting ideas directly affect your routine. Imagine you have a very important job interview, and before it even begins, the thought arises, "I always mess up." This kind of thinking acts like a closed curtain, hiding your strengths. It's like being trapped in a dark room, believing there are only shadows and nothing beyond. This kind of belief is what Bruce Lipton calls in the book The Biology of Belief of Subconscious Programming. He explains that 95% of our daily choices come from this programming, largely created in childhood. These limiting beliefs hinder our growth and keep us stuck in negative thought patterns. Now imagine the power of questioning these beliefs. When you stop and ask yourself, "Do I always fail or am I overreacting?" you begin to rewrite your story. Economist Robert Shiller discusses how telling ourselves new stories changes the way we see reality. A powerful example of this power of beliefs is the placebo effect. Studies show that when someone believes they're taking a medication that works, they often feel better, even if the pill is just sugar. If a belief can change our health, imagine what it can do for our courage to face challenges and live better. Swapping negative phrases makes a difference. When you replace "I always fail" with "I'm ready and I'll do my best," it's like swapping a thick curtain for a light one that lets in light. You can apply this to other areas, changing "Only those who act wrongly get rich" to "Those who use intelligence and effort can get rich." Or changing "Love is over, no one wants anything serious" to "I want commitment, and I'll find someone who wants it too." These simple changes shift your expectations and open the door to new achievements. Just as an open window brings fresh air, replacing negative beliefs with positive ones renews your mind and opens doors to growth. The first step to breaking these beliefs is to start questioning them. Ask yourself, does this really reflect reality? Or is it just based on past experiences, my own or others? When you challenge these ideas and look for evidence that contradicts them, you begin to see life differently. The curtains that obscured your vision disappear, and you begin to see your true potential. Just as an economist revises theories based on new data, you can revise your beliefs based on new experiences and thoughts. This takes practice, but the results are transformative. As Bruce Lipton said, the only thing that stops you from achieving what you want is believing you can't. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share this video. And don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future content. 7. Give yourself a chance to live happily. One of the biggest enemies of joy and positive thinking is believing we don't deserve to be happy. This kind of idea grows over time, and we often don't even notice how it holds us back and prevents us from enjoying life. Therefore, before any real change, the first step is very clear: allowing yourself to live happily. Imagine happiness as a tree you want to see grow strong. If you don't give it water or care, it weakens and dries up. Happiness isn't a gift someone can give or steal from you. It arises from your daily choices and actions. But we often let our joy depend on external things, like recognition at work or stability in a relationship. The truth is, your happiness doesn't depend on these external things. It begins within your heart, with the decision to believe that you deserve to live well no matter what happens outside. Think of your mind as a flower bed. If you let weeds of negative thoughts grow, they will choke out the good. But if you nurture this space, removing what's harmful and planting hopeful ideas, fertile ground will soon emerge where happiness can flourish. This internal transformation requires movement. It's not situations that determine your happiness, but how you choose to react to them. We often settle for less than we're worth, jobs that don't bring us fulfillment, friendships that don't support us, relationships that don't respect us. This happens when we forget our own worth. Giving yourself the chance to be happy also means not accepting less than you deserve. Psychologist Wayne Dyer once said, "You can't control what happens outside, but you can always decide what happens inside." This quote shows that true happiness depends on us, on the decisions we make every day to prevent the outside world from dominating our inner selves. But this permission isn't passive. It requires action. Instead of waiting for life to bring happiness, you must create it through your choices. A simple gesture is to start your day by affirming, "Today I give myself the chance to be happy." Repeating this daily can change the way you view your life. As Confucius said, "Wherever you go, go with all your heart." When we put our minds and hearts on the path to happiness, we reap the rewards of that effort. Happiness isn't in the distant future, nor in achievements we haven't yet attained. It's present here and now. So today, choose to be happy. Tend to your mental garden, recognize your worth, and make happiness a daily choice. By doing so, your life will blossom in ways you never imagined. If you've read this far, please leave a comment and thank you for following.